Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. World War II aircraft tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the Fischer P-75 Eagle. The Fischer P-75 Eagle was an American fighter aircraft designed by Fischer Body Division of General Motors. Development started in September 1942 in response to the United States Army Air Force's requirement for a fighter possessing an extremely high rate of climb, using the most powerful liquid-cooled engine then available, the Allison V-3420. The program was cancelled after only a small number of prototypes and production aircraft had been completed, as it was no longer required in its original role, could not be quickly deployed, and possessed no significant advantages over aircraft already in production. The total number of aircraft built were 14, and its first flight was in 1943 in November, and it was cancelled on October 6, 1944. So pretty interesting aircraft here, and kind of a, what could have been aircraft. I think it's really one of the only World War II American aircraft we really see with this kind of turboprop type design. And yeah, it's just a cool aircraft and kind of a what could have been. It's also extremely large for what it is compared to that of like the P-51 Mustang. It's definitely a huge, single seat, single engine fighter. So overall, pretty cool build and should be a fun one to add to your worlds if you're looking for some sort of experimental or what could have been American aircraft. In front of us, we also have the color scheme here done up in the kind of, I guess, shiny gray that the prototypes came off the line with. Obviously, we don't know too much in regards to what camo schemes or color schemes they would have actually had on these, as none of them were actually put into a situation to have that kind of, paintings and stuff like that. So, for all we know, it would have just stayed this kind of metallic aluminum color. But who knows? Obviously, that was subject to change, but that is what we have here, as that's what all the production aircraft look like. Before we go and jump in and take a look at this build, I do want to go ahead and give special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more, you already do, feel free to check my Patreon page. Link is down in my video description, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month. And in doing so, earn a vehicle request you're choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel. It is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, link is down in the video description. With that, let's go ahead and move in here to take a look at the P-75 Eagle. So, getting started with, as I mentioned, we have this dual bladed setup here, which is kind of like a turboprop type design. Pretty interesting. I always find these designs really cool to have those counter-rotating props that provide even more power. So yeah, cool design there. You can see we have the canopy right here for the pilot. Again, really small relative to that of the aircraft. Just kind of gives you a idea of just how big this thing actually really is. We have obviously the wingspan. Again, large wingspan. Your standard complement of 50 caliber machine guns. Looks about 3 in each, so a total of 6. Unless there's some mounted in the nose that I don't know about. We then have little details like that going toward the back, the rear, and the vertical stabilizer. Of course, the National Star insignia on the side of the wing here, and that really is pretty much about it there for the aircraft. Overall, really cool looking design. I think it came out pretty nice and kind of a really cool, like what could have been a fighter for the United States military during World War II. Anyways, though, that is going to do it for this overview. Let's go ahead and move into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our first layers here, we're going to be going ahead and starting with layers 1 and 2. Layer 1 is pretty simple, just some iron trapdoors really onto the bottom of layer 2, so it's best just to kind of go ahead and build both these all together. Now, if you're completely new to my aircraft tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials, I do half on camera, half off. What this means is we're building the center line, and then it'll be up to, and then we'll build the right side, and then it'll be up to you guys to take the right side and copy it over to the left side. This aircraft is symmetrical, so whatever we do on one side will be present on the other side, so it's pretty easy to just transfer what we do on the one side over to the other. In addition, this is only going to be the in-flight model for the aircraft, so if you are looking for a landed version, this is not going to be present in this tutorial, as a whole different design would need to be made, as the aircraft would sit at an angle when in the landed configuration. So this is going to only be the in-flight model for you guys to enjoy, and maybe in the future we will see a landed version come. However, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we want to place down a black concrete block. We're going to go ahead and then go forward from the block, 3 polished andesite slabs. And I will be using andesite throughout the entire build, so I'm going to go ahead and just mention polished andesite by andesite. That does not mean using the normal andesite, that means use the polished. So anytime I do say andesite, I am referring to the polished andesite. And then we're going to place down 2 iron trapdoors forward, and that's going to lead toward our front Then going to the back here, we're going to go and place down a polished andesite block here. A piston, so if you're on Java, we'll place down a piston. If you're not on Java, I'd recommend just a top slab instead of polished andesite, but since we're on Java here, we'll place down that piston like so. And then coming off it, we're going to place down an iron trap door. Now to the sides here, we're going to go off these, so that right there is going to be your center line of the build right there. And everything we do now on the right side will be copied over to the left side. So we're going to start off with place down 2 iron trap doors coming off those 2 in the front there. 2 polished andesite top slabs, and then a upside down polished andesite stair. That's going to be in this section right there. Behind that, we're going to place down a polished andesite full block. Then a polished andesite upside down stair. And then after that, a skeleton skull on the side of this block. We then also want to go ahead and take our iron trap doors. We're going to place down iron trap doors on the bottom of the black concrete and this slab, and also iron trap doors on the bottom of this full block and this stair. And it's going to be the same thing there on both sides for that intake. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 more iron trap doors to the side, 2 polished andesite slabs, another iron trap door, 2 more iron trap doors, 2 polished andesite slabs, another iron trap door, and one more time, 2 iron trap doors, 2 andesite slabs, and then a iron trap door. Then we're going to place down an iron trap door coming off the second one here, and then 1 and 2 more back, like that for a total of 3. Looking at it from the top-down view, this is what we should have with layers 1 and 2 complete. At this point in time, you'll take the right side, copy it over to the left side to get the shape that you can see in front of us. With that all complete, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layers 1 and 2. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 3. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 3. For layer 3 to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and go to the very first iron trapdoor here in the center. We're going to place down a polished andesite block on top of that. We're going to go then place down 2 more blocks forward, so you have 2 blocks there that stick past that middle iron trapdoor. We're going to go then place down 2 pistons upside down like so. If you are not on Java, instead of the pistons, we will place down a polished andesite full block, and then a polished andesite top slab instead of the pistons as an alternative. Anyways, though, after those pistons, though, or that polished andesite top slab, you're going to place down a andesite top slab, and then an iron trapdoor. So it'll look like this here from the front, or from the side there for the front. We're going to then go back from this polished andesite block here. We're going to go back an additional 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 blocks back. It should stick 1 past this iron trapdoor from the previous layer. We're going to then place down 2 polished andesite top slabs and 2 iron trapdoors to go ahead and finish that line off there toward the rear. After that's done, we're going to go ahead and then place down 2 skeleton skulls on the side of these pistons, as well as a light gray stained glass pane. And then we're going to go ahead and then place down a polished andesite upside down stair. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 polished andesite full blocks, and then 2 andesite walls after those full blocks. At this point, we're going to go ahead and now move into the wing. For the wing here, to go ahead and get started with, we're going to place down 2 daylight detectors here on top of those first 2 iron trapdoors, turn those to night mode, and then we're just going to go ahead and go back 2 polished andesite slabs back from those. Again, 2 daylight detectors, turn those to night mode, and again 2 iron trapdoors. We then want to place down a polished andesite slab here, followed by 2 more. Daylight detector, turn that to night mode, and an iron trapdoor after that. We then want to go ahead and place down a andesite stair, like this to the side. We're going to then go back from the stair, 1 and 2 slabs, another daylight detector, and we're going to go and turn that to night mode. We then want to go ahead and place down a polished andesite top slab on the back of the stair, followed by a polished andesite full block here. Or rather, let me just go ahead and double check here to make sure it's a full block. And yes, that is going to be a full block. So we have a full block there, and then we're going to place down 2 more slabs back. We're going to go ahead and then place down 1 and 2 top slabs like that, another full block, and then another half slab back. Our next row here is just going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 top slabs across. We then want to go and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And after that, we're going to go and then place down a iron trapdoor, polished andesite top slab, and an iron trapdoor. We're going to go and then place down an iron trapdoor on both sides here. In this middle space, we do want to go and place down an end rod, which is going to go over this space like so, and it's going to drop down like that. After that is all done there, we want to go ahead and then place down an iron trapdoor, 1 back, and we're going to do that same row there 2 more times, so 1 and 2. So it's going to bring us all the way out to the side there, like so. After that's all complete, we want to go ahead and then grab a skeleton skull, a chain, and also a dark oak fence gate. We're going to place down a skeleton skull here on the side of the stair. We then want to go ahead and place down a chain next to it, and then a dark oak fence gate opened up toward that slab, like so. And that right there is going to pretty much complete what we have there for this layer. Again, you're going to take what we did on the right side and copy it over to the left side. Again, at this point in time, if you are on Java, I would like to go ahead and direct your attention to a tool we'll be using throughout the rest of the build, which is the debug stick. You'll type in the command /give space @p Minecraft :debug _ stick. So it'll be this command right here, and by pressing enter you'll get this glowing stick. What we can do now is we can go ahead and go to this piston down here on the back. We can left click it until we get selected extended false pop up on our screen, and then by right clicking it you get rid of that wood portion. And what it does is it helps us create like a nice cleaner shape here for the basically just for the aircraft in general. And we're not going to do the same thing up here yet, because these pistons, if you do, so for example, if we do use our tool here and we place a block on top of them, it will cause the pistons to revert back. So we're going to leave the pistons alone for right now. However, we are going to direct our attention here to this glass pane. Now we can actually use this debug stick here to extend the glass pane to connect to the stair and to the skeleton skull. And the way we do this is we need to look in the direction we want the pane to go. So if we want the pane to connect to the back, or to this stair, it needs to go that way. So we're going to go and press F3, and we can see here in our second paragraph that fourth line there, facing north. So that right there is our direction we need to extend the pane. So we'll left click our pane till we get selected north, and it should say false. We'll right click it, it'll extend it to the north, and then we're just going to do the opposite of that. So the opposite direction of north is south, so we're just going to go ahead and right click it to the south. And again, that may change depending on your orientation that you have this aircraft in your world. It could be east to west, west to east, south to north, whichever one. Just make sure that you extend that there if you have the capability to do that with the debug stick. However, that right there is going to complete everything there is for layer number 3, and with that we'll be moving into layer number 4. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block on top of this iron trapdoor here from the previous layer, then one more polished andesite block forward, and then a skeleton skull there on the very front. We're going to go ahead and then take our polished andesite, and we're going to go ahead and go back from this second block here, so this block right there, and we're going to go ahead and build a row of polished andesite that's going to go all the way to the back here. My total of 21 blocks, and it should stick 2 blocks past those iron trapdoors on the end there. So that is what you want right there. And in total, you're going to have a row of polished andesite that's going to be 23 blocks in length. So from that skeleton skull, that block there, all the way to the back, that's going to be 23 blocks. Anyways, with that all done, that's our center line. We're going to go ahead and build out to the sides. We're going to start off by placing down 2 light gray stainless panes coming out these 2 blocks, then 2 andesite walls, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 polished andesite blocks, 2 andesite walls, and then 1, 2, 3 light gray stainless panes. We're going to go to our last 3 polished andesite blocks here. We're going to place down 3 iron trapdoors, a second row of 3, and then a third row. And then we're going to place down 3 rows of 2 of iron trapdoors like this. And that right there is going to make your horizontal stabilizers. After that is all done, we want to go ahead and then go to our 5th and 6th polished andesite blocks here from the front. We're going to go ahead and grab some item frames, some black concrete blocks, and also some birchwood signs. And what we're going to do here is we're going to place down a item frame on the 5th and 6th blocks here, and we're going to go and then place down black concrete in those item frames, and then some birchwood signs in them like that to go ahead and kind of create the exhaust there. Now just a side note is that the item frames and signs can only be placed together in the same block space on Java. If you're not on Java, you will have to just go ahead and just place down the item frames and disregard the signs. You can also use some polished blackstone buttons as well. Those will also work for that case as well. So a couple different options there as alternatives and all that. Anyways though, once we have that all done there, we then want to go ahead and continue our very edge of the wingtip to go ahead and finish that off. This is going to be done pretty simply. We're going to go ahead and take our daylight detectors. We're going to place down 2 on the end here. Again, make sure you turn those to that night mode. And then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. And same thing for this inner one like that. We then want to take our iron trapdoors. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4. And then same thing right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just 2 stone pressure plates on top of those trapdoors. And that's really all you need to do. That's going to complete your wing there. And that is, yeah, again, everything that needs to be done there for this layer, except for the banners here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the necessary materials to make those banners there, and I'll be back here shortly to go over the process of how to make those banners for the side of the aircraft. Alright guys, so to make the National Star Insignia banner you can see there on the side of the aircraft, these are the materials you'll need. You'll need a white banner, black banner, 2 light gray dye, 4 blue dye, 3 white die in the banner pattern. This right here is going to be the flower charge. We're going to go into our loom. We're going to place down our black banner first and our light gray die. We're going to go and select the line that goes across the top and the line that goes across the bottom here to go ahead and create a banner that looks like this so far. We'll put it back into our loom along with 1 white die, and we're just going to go to the line that goes horizontally through the center to go ahead and create this banner. Really simple, and that's our first banner done. Alright guys, so going ahead and moving into our loom here, we're going to go and start off by placing down our white banner and our blue die, as well as, or actually just like this for right now. We're going to go do a line that goes horizontally through the center. We're going to grab this banner, put it back into our loom, and remove our blue die. This banner here is going to go back into the loom along with our flower charge and our white die. And we're going to create a design that looks just like this. We're going to go and grab this banner, put it back into our loom, remove the white die and the banner pattern, and we're going to place down our blue die in instead. We're going to go do a line that goes across the top there with our blue. And then we want to go and then swap that out for our white die, and we're going to go and then do a diamond shape like so in the center, and it will create that top half of the star there. Our bottom section here, we're going to go and take our blue die, put it back into the loom. We're going to go and do the triangle that comes up from the bottom, and we then want to go ahead and do this horizontal line that's going to go across the bottom here of the banner like so, and that right there is going to create our blue banner for a white star. These are the 2 banners that we need to use, and we're going to go ahead and very simply go to the side of this polished andesite block. We're going to place down our banner, or this stripe banner, the blue star banner, and then the banner like that again. So it'll look just like that there on the side of the aircraft, and that is pretty much it. Yeah, pretty straightforward stuff. That will go on both sides of the aircraft like so. One quick adjustment we're also going to make is we're going to go ahead and add that same kind of design over here onto the wingtip. This is going to be placed in this section right here. We're going to swap out that trapdoor for this warp trapdoor, and we're going to go ahead and place down a iron trapdoor to this side. However, over here we're going to go ahead and place down some snow pieces to bring us to the level there to bring us to that level right there. So that right there is kind of supposed to represent our star insignia. It's not perfect, but it does somewhat do the job, and that will just kind of be over there on that left side of the wing and the left side only. So just make sure both sides are transferred over, and that'll be on the left side of the aircraft. And so that right there is going to complete everything we have there for layer 4, and with that, let's move on to layer number 5. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5 here. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with, we're going to place down a polished andesite slab on top of that second polished andesite block. We're going to go then place down a piston directly behind it. If you are, again, not on Java, we can place down a polished andesite stair like that instead. After that, though, we're going to place down 3 polished andesite full blocks, and then I went ahead and placed down 3 black concrete blocks. Now, you can leave this space open if you do want to add a bit of an interior for the build. For us, we will not be doing an interior, so I'm going to just go ahead and place down a row 3 of black concrete to fill in the space and make the cockpit look a little bit more closed off when looking at it from the outside. With that, though, we're going to go ahead and then build back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 polished andesite blocks, and we then want to go ahead and place down 2 pistons. Again, if you don't have the ability to place down the pistons, you could just place down 2 polished andesite slabs, and those will work as well. Back from those, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 polished andesite full blocks back. We're going to go then take our light gray carpet, and we're going to place down a row of light gray carpet on that trailing edge there of their horizontal stabilizer, and then we're going to go then place down a row of 6 of iron trapdoors and a row 3 just on our previous rows. Going back up to the front here, we're going to place down a skeleton skull at a slight angle on top of this glass pane. And then we're going to go back 1, 2, 3 glass panes from that. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 andesite stairs, 2 andesite slabs, a skeleton skull, and a skeleton skull at a slight angle like that to go ahead and bring us to the rear there. At this point in time, we'll go ahead and grab our debug stick again that we had previously, and we'll go ahead and right click these pistons to go ahead and set them like so, and also don't forget these bottom front nose pistons as well. With that all complete, though, that is going to wrap up everything there for this layer. Just double check and make sure I'm not missing anything, and everything does appear to be good to go. So again, here's an aerial view of what we should have from the top down view, and with that, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, which will be layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to get started with here, we're going to place down an iron trapdoor on top of this second polished andesite block here. We're going to go and then place down an air brick stair, a black stained glass block. We're going to go and then place down a piston. Again, if you don't have access to the debug stick, then you can place down another brick stair instead, or a black stained glass full block, one of the two. Another brick slab, and then 2 iron trapdoors like so. To the sides here of the cockpit, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull on both sides of the piston and the stair, and then a black stained glass pane here. We'll use the same technique that we used before with our debug stick here to actually extend the glass pane basically to connect up to those wither skeleton skulls and just kind of make the shaping there look a little bit better, again, if applicable. And we'll also right click our piston like so. To the sides here of this iron trapdoor here, we're going to go ahead and place down one of these flower pots and then one more back on that second stair. We're also going to place down an end rod on top of this first polished andesite block, followed by an iron trapdoor, a daylight detector turned to night mode, 3 of these coal ore blocks, and then a andesite wall like that to go ahead and finish off the rear there. And that right there is going to conclude everything there is for layer number 6. And at this point in time, I think we're going to go ahead and just wrap up the last parts of the build and go ahead and finish off the last layers and the propellers. Moving into our final layers here, we have layers 7 through 9. These are really simple. All you're going to do is focus your attention here to the vertical stabilizer. We're going to place down an andesite wall on top of this block here, 2 polished andesite blocks back, and a light gray stained glass pane. We'll go up again, 2 polished andesite blocks, light gray stained glass pane going forward, and then an iron trapdoor on the back of this block, and we're going to take our debug stick here, left click it till we get selected open false, and then we're going to right click it and set it like so. We're then going to go ahead and place down 2 more polished andesite blocks directly on top of that, and that right there is going to basically complete your vertical stabilizer, and with that, layers 6 through 9. The last part of this tutorial now is going to be covering the propellers, so let's go ahead and move on to that. Alright guys, so when it comes to the propellers, they're pretty simple to do. We're going to go ahead and start off by going ahead and going to this polished andesite block, and we're going to go ahead and build 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks to the side. We're going to delete the first 3 blocks, and we're going to go ahead and place down wither skeleton skulls stacked on each other like that for our first blade there. Our next blade is going to be coming off of this glass pane right here. So this is going to be coming off of it. We're going to go ahead and basically do 1, 2, and 3 blocks out to the side here again. Or 3 this time, and we're going to go ahead and delete the first 2, and we're going to do the same technique here with our wither skeleton skulls. Just like that. And just to kind of help make this connection look a little bit nicer here, we are going to go ahead and just place down a dark liquid sign like that to go ahead and make the blades look like they line up a little bit better there. And we'll go ahead and delete this pillar here to make it a little bit easier to see. Now once we have that all done there, we're going to go ahead and then take our polished blackstone, we're going to go up at an angle from this block, and we're just going to go ahead and take it up like this, and then a wither skeleton skull like that. Then for the bottom blade, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to place down a block right here, wither skeleton skull like that, polished blackstone wall that comes down, narrow block here, and a skeleton out to the side there. So it's going to look like that for the bottom blade. This blade here, we're going to go ahead and then go from this wall right here. We're going to place down a polished blackstone wall down, another wall down, and another wither skeleton skull like that, kind of coming off there at an angle. And then this top blade is going to be a wither skeleton skull like this, kind of coming off the side there. Polished blackstone wall on top of that, block on top of the wall, and a wither skeleton skull like that to the side. Or rather, it's going to be like that, I believe. And we'll edit this one real quick. We're going to place it out like that. So it should look like that, and that right there is going to pretty much make your blades. Pretty straightforward stuff there. It really isn't anything too complex, and really works out pretty nice for the build. And yeah, that right there is going to complete the propellers, and with that, that's going to complete our tutorial here for the P-75 Eagle fighter. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this design, I say you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be a thing from a side of the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear on your social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free user for a project you guys are working on. Again, a big special thanks to Patreon support Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.